Seth used to say, "We hope you missed us. We're back." It's been a while. It's been a minute since we've been here, and of course, as always, along for the ride on the Wayback Machine is my co-host Ed. Ed, what's going on?
What's up, dude?
How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are
Look
you,
at
Joe?
him with the Sunshine Market shirt on.
Yeah!
Wearing Northeast PA proudly tonight.
Yes.
That is in case you were wondering, and you're not from around here, that's a market that we used to have in the area. Actually, a big one that was here for almost ever. And then, of course, it's one of those things that is now gone from everything but your memories. So Ed is representing.
Yes.
And where's our friend? Is he here?
Joe, I gave up wearing shirts. I love being free, Joe. I let the nipples go free. You can't even see my nipples. They're so small and they're wonderful. Joe, you know what they say? I've got to be free. I've got to be me, Joe.
You have to be you. Yes. Listen,
there is only me.
I was just going to say, there is only one you.
Don't jinx, knock on wood.
Okay, what did you do the whole time we were gone?
Joe, there might be a couple little Googlies out there. Oh, you never know. You never know.
Boy.
That's just spoilers, Joe. Spoilers.
Yes. Google is back with a vengeance, and so are we. Again, welcome to everybody who is out there. I know we have in the chat is one of our musicians that gave us music to play tonight. So that is who you're seeing as Fexlone23.
Welcome.
That is Jester, who gave us a song tonight, and his Twitter is at that name. So at Fexlone23 is on Twitter. So check him out. We have one of the songs for our mixtape minute from him. Nice enough to do that. So thank you very much. Awesome. We also have another one as well for the show. And we've got a lot to talk about because we haven't been here, and there's been tons of stuff going on in the retro world. So man, I guess we may as well start. And look, I mean, we're an 80s show, and this is probably one of the biggest things that's going to be out there this year. That is a retro thing, and Stranger Things Part 3. So Part 3, Part 4. I think it is Stranger Things 4, yes. So if you haven't seen the trailer, it's amazing. I'm sure Ed watched it. I know Ed was taking some vacation. He was away in Disneyland and Star Wars Land, and he was giving me videos from there. It must have been awesome.
I flew the Falcon, Joe. It was the single greatest moment ever. And all I have to say is, as I was sitting there piloting the Falcon, first of all, it was harder than it looks in the movie. And as I was sitting there and they said, make the jump to light speed, I just thought every moment in my life, every path in my life has led me to here. And when I pulled the switch down and I made the jump, tears. It was like the greatest moment ever, just pulling the lever down. It was awesome.
Did it make the noise too, like when you do it?
It was just the greatest thing, walking on there and seeing the little smuggling hatches. And if you're a Star Wars nerd, it is the greatest thing ever in your life. Oh my God, you have to go at least once. Like, when they were closing it down for the night, if I could have, I would have slept on the streets. Like, I really would have. Like, I had the blue milk. Gwynny, my job was like this. When I walked in there, I was like this. And I had to keep going like this with my job because I just didn't know what to do first. It's just so overwhelming. Yep. It's like the greatest thing ever. It really is. Like, just the whole time there was amazing. Like, if Vader would have walked around, like, the only thing they're missing is they need to put, like, old school stuff. Like, they need Vader, they need, like, Luke. Like, when Chewie came out and stuff, that was awesome. Chewie and Rey walk out and stuff like that. But, like, they need, like, Luke and they need, like, Vader and stuff like that. But it was amazing. It really was. Like, it was the most awesome thing in the world. My daughter was Chewie. She was my co-pilot. And it was, and I was looking around for the gold dice. I didn't see the gold dice hanging. Maybe I missed it because I was too caught up in the moment. But I was trying to look around, and I'm like, I don't see the gold dice anywhere. But Oh my God, I just wanted to live there, and I want to do that Galactic Star Cruiser, but like it's like what $2,000 a
Yeah,
day
that's
or
for like
something.
a couple days. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I think Joe, you and I need to like do that for like 2 or 3 days. I think we need to like make characters like they like immerse you into it.
Ed was FaceTiming me, and I'm dying because like he's literally FaceTiming me. And he's showing me all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god. So yeah,
Yeah, the family was doing something, and I ran away, and I'm like, Joe, look at this, and I'm like walking around showing Joe like steps of like every part of the thing. I'm like,
oh
Joe,
my
but there
god.
was a lot of curse words, and I'm like, would you beep beep beep? Look at this! Oh my God,
Yep.
Joe, and here's this, Joe. Look at this, and then like my daughter and I, we did the build a lightsaber thing, like the real build a lightsaber thing, and like when they're talking about like you could pick like a green kyber crystal like Master Luke, and when they did like the whole thing was dark and then like the ceiling like illuminated green, and like I literally had goosebumps going up and down, like it was and it was
That's
funny
amazing.
because like it was myself and my 6-year-old daughter, and then the rest were all grown adult men. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, next time I will be one of those grown adult men building a lightsaber. And like the lightsabers are like real like metal like real, I mean they're like $250
Yeah, not
lightsabers.
like the collectible ones that
and,
they
and,
that you give me. Yeah.
and it's so cool because it's like the hilt, and then all of a sudden you know they're like, check your lightsaber, and then they set them down, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, now use your force and everything, use the force, and then they're like, okay, now illuminate the blade, and then when you illuminate it, all of a sudden the blade lit up, and then like a thing opens up, and then the blades are like, because it was just a hilt, and then all of a sudden when they hit it, it's just a big blade, and then you lift it up, and it was like the most like surreal, amazing moment. Like Winnie knows, she put they're big and hefty, that's what she said, and it was like so amazing. It was like the most real. It was just so overwhelming and amazing. And I wanted to yell during the Smugglers Run thing. I would be like, "Don't tell me the odds!" But like again, I was so overwhelmed. There's so many things I just wanted to yell. Like it was
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Like I recommend everybody, if you're a Star Wars nerd, you have to go do it. It was great.
Yeah, I have to get there.
Joe, I just wish you were there. Like all I kept thinking in the back of my head is there's the only person I wish that was there with me was Joe. Like if you were there, like you and I would have been just like grabbing onto each other, going dude. That's all I could picture in the back of my head was like you and me just latching onto each
Oh
other
my
doing that.
god. I would have bawled my eyes out too, probably.
I fought everything back, like I really
Man.
did, because it was so overwhelming. Like it really, I just like literally like 6, 7-year-old me inside was like freaking out. You know what I mean? And I just kept picturing like this is me as a kid. Everything I imagined,
Yep.
like being like in your head
Yep.
when you're watching when you're little, you're like, wow, this is what it would be like. And then I'm just like, wow, this is it. It was awesome.
It's like every kid's dream, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's yeah. The pictures, I'm sure, probably don't do it justice. When you see it up close, I mean, everybody I've talked to, and like I said, I appreciate Ed FaceTiming me because I was able to just see like the landscape of it as opposed to just a flat picture, and you can see someone actually standing by the stuff, and like, oh my god, it looks amazing. And if you're listen, if you're a Star Wars fan, and I am from 7 years old, 8 years old, that is like that's the holy grail to see that. So that's awesome, dude. That's
When you said she cried in front of the Falcon, and a cast member said that it happens all the time, I could imagine. Like, yeah,
yeah, I believe that.
yeah.
I believe that. Because yeah, and like you were saying, it's all older guys and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, a 52-year-old man bawling like a baby at a Star Wars thing. I mean,
Dan
yeah.
said the odds of surviving sleeping on the streets of Star Wars land was approximately 3,720 to 1. Yes.
Nice, Dan. Nice. Chuck says it's really awesome you got to go. That's how I would be if I ever made it to Star Trek. I'd be a big Trek fan.
That
Yeah,
would be another awesome experience to see.
yeah. I mean, and all these things are putting up, and now the one in Hollywood's going to have the Avengers thing, that whole big Avengers with the Doctor Strange mansion and all that stuff. I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy. Like all this stuff that you saw growing up, which we talk about all the time. And now you can technically go and live it. No, I'm not saying you're an older guy. I'm not saying it's all guys, Gwynny. I'm referring to myself.
There were a lot of ladies that were there.
Yeah.
It's for everybody, and it's cool because now we could experience it as adults, and it's not weird. You know what I mean? Like there were so many grown adults walking through there.
Yep.
And it was awesome. It really is a great experience.
Ah, man, that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. Yeah, Ed was there, of course, and that's one of the reasons why we were gone. But yeah, so if you haven't seen the Stranger Things trailer, check it out. It looks really amazing. I don't know, some of that footage looks crazy, and now there's something going on in conjunction with Doritos. They're doing some kind of a thing with an upside down concert. So I don't know what the hell that's going to be, but if you watch the trailer, there's a dude playing a guitar in the upside down. So there's a thing where he's standing on a roof playing a guitar. So I don't know what that's going to be. I know that's kind of going to be like a homage to like the Lost Boys, where you have that dark concert with the saxophone guy and everything like that. I don't know, but it looks really, really cool.
Well, you think you got Freddie, you got Robert Englund.
Oh, Robert Englund's in it. How cool is that?
Do you think Dawkins might come out of?
Yeah. Hey, listen, they're not really doing anything, so why not?
It might be Dawkins and Freddie. We might get a rehash of Dream Warriors for.
Why not?
Can you imagine?
Why not? And there's so much stuff coming back now. So yeah, I mean, why not? You've got Def Leppard with an album coming out.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that's what he said. That's why we love doing this show, because it never ends and things just come back out of nowhere. You're getting stuff back on like Netflix shows. You're getting stuff back, music wise. You're getting stuff back, and movies are going. There's slasher films coming out now like crazy. So it's all coming back around, and that's why we do the show. So yeah, make sure you check that out.
It keeps us employed, even though we don't make any money.
That's correct. Yes, it keeps us doing this. It keeps us with things to talk about. Mullets are coming back. I don't know if they ever left.
I think I could grow a skullet.
There are always people that had them. Maybe they got Tim Capello. Tim Capello was on was it Gunship? Yeah.
Yes.
He was on Gunship's album. So Flexona, I'm sure you may have heard. You've probably heard of Gunship, the synthwave band. He was on their last album. He played on Dark All Day, which is a great song from there. And they played that up big time that he was on there. So yeah, that's very cool.
Shoulder pads. That was such a bad idea.
Yeah, yes. The shoulder pads. Oh, they looked awful. Yes, They looked awful.
Everybody looked like linebackers.
They did. The kids, though, are starting to get a little old. So they have to wrap that up soon, because they're starting to look way too old to be in high school. And of course, that one Wolfgang, the one who's in Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Afterlife. Which, by the way, is getting a sequel. So I loved it, and I see they're doing another one. Maybe that's the one they convinced Rick Moranis to come back for.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it be?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and how about the big news about Batman getting a sequel?
Batman's getting a sequel. Yeah, Batman.
I'm sure everybody saw Batman, and if you didn't see it, my God.
You really need to watch it. Yeah,
like Big Dan said in our one group, it was a masterpiece. It really was.
It really was.
Outstanding.
Who'd have thought that Pattinson would do as well as he did? But he really played the role really well. Really did a great job, and it was just well cast. The story was good. They really explored the detective side of Batman in it, and it was awesome. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out.
Yeah,
it's on HBO Max. Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Yes. But I'm excited. So Stranger Things is going to be 2 parts. It's apparently so long because they couldn't get it done during COVID. So there's going to be a part 1 and a part 2. They're both going to happen this year. So the part 1 starts, I think, the end of May. Oh yeah. Is that going to be a crazy day for streaming? The same day as Obi-Wan comes on Disney Plus. Both of them come out the same day, and Disney probably planned it that way, which is smart. 2-part Obi-Wan opening. So there'll be 2 parts for that. And then Stranger Things starts. I don't know if you guys heard. Did you hear the thing about Ewan McGregor talking about Vader?
It scared the crap out of him.
Yes. How cool was that?
I'll be watching Obi-Wan first.
How cool is that? I mean, Ewan McGregor came out saying, "Hey, I never played with Darth Vader, and he didn't. You know, he did the prequels and stuff, so he never really did. And then when he said when Ewan, I guess, walked up behind him in that costume, he said it scared the shit out of him, which I can imagine it would.
Ominous.
Hearing the breathing and stuff like that, if he heard that, I can imagine he probably would have loved it, but or got scared from it. But yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, Nancy.
What's up, Nancy? How are you?
We'll ignore that comment. Hey, Big Dan. Yeah, I saw that game today. That game started out awesome, and then it ended crappy with the Mets. It wasn't too good. I was a little upset.
I heard in flashback games a lot now. They did that one with that baseball movie from oh my god, last year with oh god, what the hell's the name of it? I can't think of it now. The one where they play in the cornfield. They actually played a game there last year, so that was cool too.
No, there's a brawl today. Well, they all ran out on the field after each other today. Oh, jeez. Because the one guy almost got hit by a pitch.
Oh,
so okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. But he's saying it was reminiscent of the game back in the 80s.
So there's that. What else we got? Well, let's do. You can do an on this day, Ed. I'm sure you probably have an on this day lined up.
Oh, why? Yes, I do.
Let's do that. Let's go back.
I posted on our Instagram on this day. On this day, let's go with baseball. On this day, since we're talking about baseball, let's see. My thing changed on me. It all was good. Set up, and I love when it changes.
It's all good.
Yeah, well.
We could just do the Jeopardy theme.
It went from the 27th to the 28th. I'm so professional here.
Big Dad says we've got Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, and Shoresy starting on the same day.
Oh, Shoresy, I can't wait. Big Letterkenny fan. Those of you who never watched it, watch Letterkenny. If you like kind of crude humor, that's easily one of my top favorite shows. Anyway, but that's not 80s. Nolan Ryan became the all-time strikeout leader.
There you go. Wow.
Yes.
That's a blast from the past.
Yes, in April 27th in 1983. I put that on our Instagram page.
Nice.
So that was on this date.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
In 1981, Tommy Rich beat Harley Race to win the NWA Heavyweight Championship.
There you go.
How's that one for you?
Wrestling there, the NWA and the old territories. Yes.
Yes. How about that one? That's an old one, huh?
NWO is still around, but there you go. Chuck Tyler. Hello, Chuck. How are you?
Let's see. 80s television. Final episode of Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
China Beach premiered on ABC. Do you remember China Beach?
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
80s music. Let's see.
Had to be something good in 80. Well, it is April 27th.
Number one songs in America. Call Me by Blondie.
Call Me on the Line. Yes, Blondie. Yes, was very big in the 80s.
Kiss on My List.
Oh, Little Hall & Oates.
I Love Rock and Roll, 1982.
Joan Jett.
Come On, Eileen.
Very nice. Dexys Midnight Runners.
Speaking, well, the next one will be more for your prom episode, Against All Odds by Phil Collins. In 85, We Are the World.
Oh, nice. Wow, man.
Yep. Kiss by Prince. It was in 86.
The remake of, okay. Yeah.
I Knew You Were Waiting by Urethra and George Michael in 1987.
Nice. Good song. Duet.
Another one for your prom, Where Do Broken Hearts Go by Whitney Houston in 1988.
I have a prom soundtrack.
And in 1989, literally. Like a Prayer by Madonna.
Very cool.
And pretty much that was really nothing else really major.
Man, that's crazy. Like a Prayer. I can remember sitting watching the video debut of that because there was so much controversy about that and about, you got to see it. It's all this religious stuff and everything like that. And it came on and it was like,
and Chuck, pitter patter, let's get at her and move on, right? He'll get that, the Letterkenny reference.
Nice. Wrestling and ninjas were the shit back then in school. Um, yes, wrestling was big in the 80s. I watched a documentary last night, that WWE one, Evil Kid was called. They did the whole thing about Hogan when he turned bad, which was really neat. And when you see like a lot of the behind the scenes and how stuff happened with that, it was really cool.
There's a real good podcast. I'll give credit. I'll give a shout out. It's called The Book of Wrestling. I know we really don't, but it's a new podcast. It just started up. There's only 3 episodes. A friend of mine passed it along to me, but it's called The Book of Wrestling, and it's actually very good. And it's only 3, and you should check it out. Really good.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, what else is going on? So
allegedly, Chuck. Allegedly, you know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. So that's what's going on. That was what on this day, and that was some of the stuff that we missed going over when we were gone. So there you go. All right. So we will get to our mixtape minute, I believe, is up next.
Okay.
And we've got, like I said, we've got 2 bands since. Would you have a certain one queued up, Ed, or do we want to do?
Whoever you want to go with first.
Why don't we go with Flex Zone 23? Why don't we go with Jester, since he's kind enough to be here?
Or is that Undercurrents or
that's the other one.
Back from the Grave?
That is correct.
Okay.
So let's go with that since he's here. This is again at Fexlone, PHEXLONE 23, and he is Jester on Twitter. So this is his song. This is called Resurrection, and it's Yep. Go ahead. Nope. I was just going to say, we were talking about the Wraith, actually. And if you go to this album and check it out, there are references to the Wraith film, which is one of the coolest movies, actually, to come out of the 80s. So there you go.
Ready?
Ready.
You done, Joe?
I'm done now.
All right, let's go. All right.
There you go. Very cool. And you can check that out right now on Bandcamp. It is on there for you to download. There are, how many tracks on this? 9 tracks on it. That is the first track off it, called Resurrection, Riding Spectre, Full Throttle, Being Boring, Out on a Prowl, My Grave, Be My Angel, A Warm Night, and Wraith's Revenge, Final Race. So when I saw that, what's that?
We have it up on the screen for everybody to check it out.
There it is. You can check it out right up there, and make sure you go check that out. And again, thank you so much to Fexlone, and of course for letting us know all about that. And go check him out wherever you can. Check it out on Twitter, and please put other things up in the chat for everyone to go check out as well. If you've got anything else as far as social media stuff that you would like to have everyone check out, so please do that. And again,
pop up
appreciate
links.
you. Yep, appreciate you giving us the music. We really appreciate that. That's awesome. All right, our second song of the night. So this comes to us from, this is Elixir, and Nelio. So I hope I'm getting it right. It looks like Nelio. So she is also on Twitter, and it's at Elixir. So ELYXIR Music A. And it's Elixir Music AU is her Twitter handle. So let's go to that song, which is called, let me get that up, Undercurrents. So Undercurrents by Elixir and Nelio.
Are you ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
All right.
Now it's not ready.
Oh, it's not playing?
No.
It's playing on my end. My bad. Hold on.
That's okay. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Oh, sorry. It was sharing the other thing.
All good.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, well, hey.
There we go.
Here we go.
It's not like we can erase the pages where our history lies. We just have to celebrate the changing seasons of our lives. Sometimes we're so close, it feels like our hands could almost touch. Sometimes we don't speak to each other for months and months. But there's always a look, always a thought, the loss of a kiss that we never caught. Even though we never sailed out in that ocean, we swept in the undercurrents, set it in motion. We're finally safe to embrace what we have and accept what is gone. But still, I'm swept in the undercurrents with all of my feelings from when we were young.
Awesome.
It's different than what we normally have.
Yeah, very good. The vocalists that we get on, some of them are amazing. And she's got an awesome voice. That was fantastic. That is called Undercurrents, and again, that's Elixir, ELYXIR, and Nelio, NEILIO. It's called Undercurrents. Again, go check her out on Twitter, and again, that's from Bandcamp as well. So a lot of this stuff from the artists that do these things now, they release these things on Bandcamp. So it's a very big app. If you want to pick up, and you get a lot of new music on there. Even like really big acts like John Carpenter now does music on Bandcamp too. So go check it out. And there is Google. What's up, sir?
This one time at Bandcamp, I made love to a whole entire orchestra, Joe.
Oh, it's not that kind of Bandcamp.
Oh no, Joe! I mean, I did him dirty. I threw a man in a tuba. I stuck a bassoon in a certain orifice. I did all kinds of dirty things at Bandcamp, Joe. It was a wild time, Joseph.
I would imagine, yes, it would be. I'm
Let me tell you something, Joe. None of us walked that night.
God.
I was bow-legged for a week, Joe.
Oh my God.
I think I got crabs from Bandcamp.
Oh, that's not good.
No, and I signed up the next year. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't remember the piece that we played. I remember the piece that I got, though, Joe.
All right. Sometimes you just don't want to say things that you say, and you want to take them back.
I don't know where he thinks of these things, Joe. I really don't.
I don't know. He's got a mind all his own.
He really does. It's like all of a sudden, like he just goes in, like
goes off on tangents with it. It goes way back. And, yep. Well, it fits. The album is inspired by. Fex Lowe's talking about that album. It is inspired by the movie Interceptor, also called The Wraith. Yes, if you haven't seen The Wraith, well, you're missing a great movie. Go out and watch
Such
it.
an awesome flick.
Very early with Charlie Sheen, a very young Charlie Sheen in that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. Google shows up, 80s cocaine fueled. What can we do? What can we say? I mean,
He's that guy that you bring
he's
when you want to have fun.
he really is. He really is.
You
All
ever
right.
see me and I open up a suitcase and Goulet comes out? You just better watch out. Because you're in trouble.
Oh my God! Yes.
It's the end, man. It's the end. All I know is if they announce that a meteorite's hitting the Earth, I'm going to be sitting up on the roof with a case of beer and Googly in the other
Googly.
hand, man. And that's it. We're done. Or maybe a fifth of something in one hand and Googly in the other. And I'm going to be waving to the meteorite saying,
If it's aliens, they might grab him. They might take him up with them.
Googly, he'll be like, you know what? I didn't make it with an alien yet. And
He might go with them. Oh my God!
yeah.
All right, so we promised you a prom
He
story.
probably he wouldn't oppose to being probed. I'll tell you that much.
No, he would not. He would.
Mm-mm.
He would enjoy that.
Yes, he would.
We promised you a prom story. It's not happening this week. This is a prequel to a prom story. So we figured,
Setup.
why not talk about dating in the 80s? And that's what we're going to do. So, we got some comments that said that we don't talk about things maybe enough for, people and certain things. So we're going to do that tonight. We're going to talk about dating in the 80s. So that's what we're going to take the next 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes or so and talk about. And then we'll get to the illustrious prom story on our next show. I promise. I know everybody's waiting on bated breath. You're going to be disappointed. I'm telling you, it's anyway. But I will, and it's funny because I'm kind of gathering songs that I used to listen to from that whole episode. So I'll put those up at some point on the Facebook page and probably on Twitter. So you'll have
Or maybe
the soundtrack.
afterwards, like you could have the soundtrack
Yeah.
afterwards. Or
Yeah.
no, you know what? They used to do that beforehand. You remember
Yeah.
like when a movie would come out, they
They
would
put
like
the
release
soundtrack
the
out
tape,
first.
and then you would have that, and you would like
Yeah.
look at the listing, and that was awesome. I used to
Yeah.
love that. That was a
Maybe I'll
cool
do
thing.
that. Maybe I'll get that together and I'll release the soundtrack of my prom story for you all.
So like this is set in stone then. Next week
this
is the
is set
prom.
in stone.
I know we've been
We've been-
saying it, and we've
Yes.
been like kind
It's
of
been
like
teased for over a year.
yeah,
but
and like
yes.
people have been upset, and
Yes.
we've gotten some nasty letters.
Yes, we
and
have.
yes. We've had
I've gotten
groups
I've gotten a
call
couple
us,
of death threats. Yeah.
death
yeah,
threats,
yeah.
and
Yes, I did.
Fex,
So
you guys, what's the worst song of the '80s? To me, it's "We Built the City." Oh, I like that song.
I like that song too.
I enjoy that song.
Man, that's a fun song.
I
for
really-
for me, and because I just can't stand
we're
it.
getting
It's like
derailed.
chalkboard scraping down. Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah.
Yuck. That song was so overplayed that I just can't. Like when I hear it now, I'm like,
See me, it's
oh my God, Tom's Diner.
that one just, oh my God, it hurts. Like it's like someone is just kidney shotting me over and over in the kidneys. Like
That's
I
Suzanne
just,
Vega, the same person.
that
who
one
did
just
Luca.
hurts. Oh yeah, Luke I could take because it makes you feel bad for the
Yeah.
kid. But like, oof. Oh well, no, Four Non Blondes is '90s. That one really
Yeah,
hurts.
that's another
What's
one.
going
Oh
on?
my
That
God,
one,
it was
oh.
way overplayed.
God,
Way
that one's like a
overplayed.
shot in the testicles.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's a testicle shot, but that is like a kidney shot.
Big Dan. You don't like Our House? No, your
Oh.
grandfather didn't like it. Oh, I love that song by
Oh, I
Madness.
love that song.
That was a great song.
Mm.
So anyway,
Yeah,
so
moving on.
moving on before we get sidetracked again.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about things we did, and you guys can play along.
Or were like a popular dating destination.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what? Let's just start there. Because where would you go?
Where would you meet them?
Um,
Maybe. How about like where you would meet them and then what you would do afterwards? Like, how about that? That's a good way to do it. Like, where you would maybe go to meet somebody and then what you did afterwards. You want to do it like that?
Yeah, why not? So
The hell with it. We're
why-
we're professional,
Yeah,
all right?
we're not. Yeah, we'll wing it like we always do.
Yeah.
For
I mean, we
me,
show up every couple, like when there's an equinox. Is we're doing
yeah,
episodes,
whenever this, yeah, when there's an eclipse, we come out. So for us, it was cruising. They called it cruising broad. So it was a street in our little town that apparently was the place to go. And this, so everybody, people would always be talking about it in school, and if you had your eye on a girl that you wanted to hang out with, they would go with their friends. So four of them would get in a car, and then you'd kind of take your friends, and the guys would get in a car. But I could never figure the frig out how this was ever supposed to work, because we didn't have phones. It wasn't that easy. You didn't text and say, "Hey, meet me here," And so you just end up going down there, and every single time that I ever went down there thinking that I'm going to meet up with a girl that I had my eye on, it never worked out anyway, and we ended up just going to a convenience store parking lot and sitting there for like an hour and a half, and then going to a restaurant at the end of the night and getting something to eat. It wasn't a good place to do this, because you literally, there was supposed to be this little route that you'd have to go, and you go around, and then you're kind of looking at other cars, and you don't know. Again, we had nothing. We had no technology to use any of that to call or to do it. Would have made it so much easier. It's like, hey, meet us over in the parking lot of so and so. No, you just drove up and down this highway, back and forth, and you're playing your music, and you have your window down, and you're blasting Def Leppard or Guns N' Roses, whatever it was, and you're looking over and hoping that one of the cars that pulls up next to you is going to be these girls from high school. Well, that never worked out. So it really wasn't a good place to go, or a good thing to do, because there was really no coordination to it at all. So that's where we started. What about you, dude?
Well, we know who the makeout people were. Nancy, movies that making out. Gina, movies that making out.
Okay.
So we know who we're.
Now wait, are we talking movies in like a theater movie, or are we talking drive-in, or are we talking at home?
Go to your house. I don't know. Tell us, ladies.
Yes. More details, please.
Getting to different bases. Oh, it all comes out now. They had terms for that. It was called the makeout. SLU. How you doing?
Whoa.
We used to walk around the mall.
The mall.
Walk around the mall, and you'd see a girl, you'd do not the point, because that would kind of make sure you never got laid or talked to. But you'd walk around the mall, and if you saw somebody, you'd smile or do whatever you thing, and
yes.
That was the thing. Walk around the mall when you were younger. Then as you got cars, you'd drive the Ave. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of my buddies. The big one, and it was funny, was when we were a little bit was sad meetings, Students Against Driving Drunk. Like you would they would like cross, like you would like different schools would meet at different, they would different schools would like combine, and then you would meet people from different schools at different meetings, and you would go there, and he'd say, "Hey, how are you?" Blah blah blah, and then that's how you would meet different people. We would do that there.
She answered, "Look, theater or his house," said Gina. And Nancy said, "Making out on a baseball field." Now I'm getting vibes of Animal House. Nancy, what
making out on the baseball field?
Not in the dugout even? You're just right smack in the middle of the field.
Drinking on the mountain? I remember going on the mountain. Yeah, there was different... a girl's house when we played video games and watched movies. Yep, that was a good one.
I was too young to date. Well, you could go into a little later. It doesn't have to be exactly in the 80s, Gwynny. You can just tell us what.
I have a funny story that.
Go ahead.
I gotta try and say it without. I don't want to put names or anything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So, my buddy. All right. My buddy used to go to this youth group. And he says, come to me. He says, come to this youth group with me. Now, this is nothing against anybody who's into any kind of like religion or anything. This is me being young. So this, yes. I don't mean to offend anyone.
Disclaimer. Yes.
Yes. This is me being a young kid. So he says, oh, you should come to this youth group with me. God rest his soul. He passed away last year or a few months ago. But he says, "Oh, come to this youth group with me." He said, "There's a lot of cute girls there." I was like, "No, I don't want to go to this." He said, "Come on, come to this youth group with me." All right. So I go to this youth group, and there's a lot of cute girls there. So I go to this youth group, and I'm there for like a couple weeks, and there's a lot of really, really cute girls there. So we get up into this point where we have to go to the church. And now the church, it was a born again church. Well, now part of this born again church was being saved. Now, my family was Protestant. I never experienced any of this in my life. So this is me, being ignorant to their religion. So we go up there, and I'm sitting in the pews, and all these people are the minister, the pastor, whatever, he's saying, "All right, who's ready? It's time to be saved," and everybody's rushing up to the front. And I'm sitting there with all these cute girls, and they're running up, and my buddy's like, "Go up, go be saved." And I'm like, "Well, what's being saved?" He's like, "Go up." And I'm like, "Okay." So I like run up to the front, and I'm sitting there, and he's walking up to these people, and now people are, let me go back. So all these people are going like blah blah blah, and they're talking, I'm like, "What's happening?" And he's like, "They're talking in tongues. It's the Spirit entering them." And I'm like, "Well, I've never seen this." Now I'm like 14 years old. Like, this is something new to me. So I go up to the thing, and they're all going like, he's like, "Blah, blah, blah, you're saved." And the people are like dropping over.
Oh, God.
And they're like rolling on the ground. And I'm like thinking to myself, "Ed, why did you do this to meet girls? Why did you do this to meet girls? I can't believe you've done this." So now he comes up to me, and I'm just thinking to myself, I did this to meet girls. I don't feel anything inside me. God, the Spirit is not inside me. I just wanted to meet girls. That's all I wanted to do was like, like make out with a girl. So he comes up to me, and he's like, "Do you feel the Spirit of God inside you?" Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Yes." And he goes, "You're saved." So I just go like this. Boom. And I just flop over like a fish out of the water, and I just laid there like this.
Oh,
and I'm counting in my head 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, and I just got up, and I just quietly walked back to my pew and sat down. And all these pretty girls are coming up to me, and they're like, "Congratulations!" And I went home, and I was like, "Mom, I'm never going there again." And I was like, but like, and again, nothing to knock anybody. But like, that's one of the crazy things I did to meet girls.
Wow.
And
that's
yeah, and again, not to knock anybody, but it was just like, I never experienced it. But he said there was cute girls there, and then I was like harassed by this pastor, I won't say his name, for weeks. He kept calling me, "Hey Ed, when you come in the youth group again?" And I was like, it was like, it's better off dead. You know how like, "I want my $2. Oh, this bus of nuns got run over and it's on fire." Like, I kept making up excuse after excuse after excuse. And yeah, Chuck, on a bus trip to a youth, like we went to this like youth camp thing, and like, yeah, but that's another story.
I made things harder for myself because I was such a reckless driver when I first got my car, and I made things bad for myself because I was best friends with, and you'll find a lot of times, and you guys probably know this too, guys who are shy, a lot of times you'll find a guy who's outgoing to hang out with, and there was a guy that I was best friends with growing up, and he was completely forward, had a different girlfriend every other week, and completely opposite of me. I made it bad for myself because when I got the car, oh my God, when you hit 16 and you're the first person in your friend group to have a car, you're the most popular guy going, because then all of a sudden the girls are in your car, the guys are in the car with you, and you're off to the races. Well, it never worked out for me because I was such a, like, not a bad driver. I just had a reputation for driving very recklessly and fast.
Oh, really? So, like, you still don't do that, Joe?
Like, I still don't do, Mr. King of the speeding ticket. I know every magistrate from my house all the way up to 40, 50 miles from here. But anyway, So yes, and it didn't help that my father got me a very overpowered car, a 8-cylinder engine that went from 0 to 60 in less than 15 seconds. Yeah, but anyway, basically in my hometown where I lived, which was very small, and it was one of those towns where everybody knew everybody. I remember my friend. His name was Matt, but my friend Matt we'd be like, "Come on, Joe, let's go, let's go find these girls," and when we go, we'd find them. A lot of times it was at the basketball court, and people gathered at the basketball court and things like that. We'd go play basketball, and the girls were hanging out there. So we get up there and we're like, "Hey, do you guys want to come with?" Matt, of course, makes the moves because I'm too damn shy or quiet to say anything, so he does. And he goes to them, and he comes back over to me. He goes, "They can't go." And I'm like, "Why not?" And he goes, "Their parents won't let them drive with you in your car."
Because you're a daredevil.
And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, like you've apparently got a reputation where all the parents in town don't want their kids going into the car with you." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So that was an epic fail. So I made things hard for myself. But oh my God. We got to talk a little bit about the mall because the mall leads into my prom story. That's where I actually asked my date to go to the prom, was the mall. Her group of friends, my group of friends, and we kind of all met up and we were going around. Of course, we hit the arcade and then we hit the pizza place. And then when we went to we used to have an ice cream shop in the mall. So then we all hit the ice cream shop. There was the whole thing that you went to when you went in the mall. And then as we're doing it, it was almost like though communicating through like all of the friends, like they'd come up to me because I apparently got nominated the leader of my bunch. And the one of the friends, I'm not my prom date, but one of the friends came up to me and she was the negotiator. So she was coming over and saying, well, you should ask her and she'll go with you, but only if we all go with your friends. And right then and there, the light should have gone on in the noggin, but it did not. Segue, and we'll talk about more next week. But that's where it all started, was the mall. So the arcade, the mall, yes.
So let's see. Gina says, going to the mall, movies, friends' houses, holding hands, talking on the phone forever. Dating was fun and pure. What the hell do kids do now? Gwynny says, they stare at their phones. Big Dan says, boys, I went on one date during the 80s in 1985. I remember because I bought the book and cassette of The Empire Strikes Back. It was my first and last date, but thankfully I did get a kiss afterwards. Listen, you buy a girl The Empire Strikes Back cassette, she should put out because that's like the greatest thing ever. Sorry.
Especially when you get to the point where Vader tells Luke he's his father.
Yeah, like that's immediately like show her your boobs.
Yes.
Show him your boobs.
Yes.
Let's see. Gwynny says the Gwyneth I don't want to ruin it. Place Mall. Where Stranger Things was filmed was a big hangout spot.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Let's see where else.
Big Dan said, Mom and Grandpa were with us, plus I was 12, so it worked out. The kiss was very quick.
Well, Grandpa was with you.
A girl named Trinity? Dude, that's a cool girlfriend name.
Yeah.
All right.
Nancy says it was always awkward after a bad date, and the person was more interested than me. They would just keep calling, and I would make my mom lie and tell them I was not at home. Eventually, they would stop. Instead of just telling them I'm not interested in you. Friday night football. Football was always good. Yeah, football games.
Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah,
when he never dated in college.
Yep.
20 was more a one-time thing. There was a girl in 2006 and a few more before my first real long term. From 9, then I met my late wife. Group dates were fun. Yeah, they were.
They were, unless you wanted to get somewhere later on at the end, because it didn't work out well.
It was group dates were fun if you were with somebody who was interested in you, but if they had that friend who didn't hook up with your buddy and they're like, let's go home.
Yes.
I want to go home. And then you're like, shit, come on. And then especially if they drove or like if the friend drove them. And then you were like kind of stuck, and you're like, "Damn it, can't you just?" And there was no Uber or nothing back then.
Yes.
So you're like, "Can't you just call a cab?" No. And then you're like, "Well, what if you drop her off and come back over, or meet me somewhere else?" No, I have to take so and so home, and you're like, and then it just ruined it. You know what I mean? Like that was always the worst. Like that was a big bummer.
Yeah, and then that happened to me. That was almost kind of a nightmare too, because that was with the same bunch that we went to the prom with, and we were kind of walking around like the area of where their houses were, and that was just that was it. You know, you kind of things were kind of progressing from like dating kind of, but then it was a group thing, so there were groups of people there, and then you just kind of wanted to get a little bit of alone time with the person you were with, but it didn't happen, and then and then when we get done, of course, me and my car, we get back to my car and I had a flat tire.
Oh Jesus,
It
dude!
was the very first
You have
time
the
I ever.
shittiest luck in the world.
I'm
man.
telling you,
Oh my
you don't
God.
even know. You don't even know. And it was the very first time I ever had to change a flat tire. And there I am with this jack on a car you ever see a jack on a 72 car? They're
No.
huge, right? Humongous. So I'm there trying to jack up the car. Luckily they had gone, so they didn't notice that because they had lived close enough to walk back, and they did. And then we walked back to the car, and of course the tire was flat in the car. So again, it should have been a sign. I should have known.
Two things.
But
Excuse
yes.
me. Two things. Chuck hit on a good one, but it's kind of dual. How about when you get the girl's number and are nervous to dial the
Oh
whole
my
thing? I
God,
dial like
yes.
6 out of the 7. But
Yep.
how about when you would get a girl's number and then like you're like, what was the rule? You don't call it right away because it seems like you're too interested.
Desperate. Yeah.
Or you would give the girl your number and then you would wait.
Wait, that
And then the
wait
girl
was
wouldn't
horrible.
call you for like a couple of days. And then you're like,
Ugh.
is she interested in me? And then if she didn't call you, you're like, shh, damn it, she's not.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh my God. And then you finally, when you've given up hope and you're like, all right, she's not interested in me, I'm done. And then all of a sudden the phone out of nowhere rings and you're like, oh, and you're thinking it's like your buddy calling you to be like, what's up, loser?
Yep.
And you're like, hey, what's up, dickhead? And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, how are you? And you're like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, how about that? That was the worst thing
Oh my
ever.
God, that was the worst. You saw that in Pretty in Pink when she was waiting for the call from the guy, and it's awful. That was
yes,
awful.
it's like a stupid. Nancy says the phone call waiting game.
Oh my
and
God,
then
and-
Nancy has another one. Going to bazaars. That was another meeting spot.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for around here. Bazaars
Yeah.
were huge. It's kind of like these little, it was kind of like very informal. Churches would have them and things like that, like food, and there'd be like booths and stuff that they had games and everything like that. Yeah, that's a good one. Football games, I think somebody already said.
Mhm.
Drive-ins. So a lot of times, if you, especially if if people trusted to go in your car, drive-ins are a good one. Of course, movies. We mentioned our skating. Anybody go
Roller skating. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was always a good one. Unless you were not a good skater and you just fell on your face when you went. I actually didn't. I wasn't a bad skater. I don't know why. I was always a big kid, but I was decent at roller skating. So yeah, I wasn't actually that bad.
I was the fat kid who couldn't skate, so couples skate. I spent sitting watching the wall, and I would watch the couples hold hands doing the laps, and no good memories with that.
Let's see. Meeting at the Live Wire at Roller King. There you go. There you go.
Fexalone. Did anyone have a sister who used to hog the phone? Well, you had a younger sister, Joe.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Well, you know what? She was a lot younger though than me. She was 8 years younger than me, so I kind of just ruled the roost. And if I wanted to, you call somebody on the phone, I'm like, no, I'm just taking the phone. She ended up getting a different phone than upstairs in her room. One of those old Radio Shack specials with the neon that lit up when the phone rang. So she ended up getting a different phone at one point. But yeah, that was a pain in the ass. And more so, I think for me, it was mom always wanted to use the phone. So if you're on that call, like I was talking about, and you're trying to just carry up a conversation and listen, sometimes it's very, very difficult to do and to figure out what to say. At least it was for me, because you start going through all the motions and hey, how are you? And once you get past that initial discussion, it's like, shit, what do I talk about?
For a while, I used to do the Bronx Tale test. Do you remember that? Do you ever watch a Bronx Tale where you open the door, and if she doesn't reach over and open that door for you, you remember Sonny did the Bronx Tale test?
Yes.
I did that for a while too.
Yes. Google up. We're going to get some good calling tips now.
Joseph!
Yes.
What I used to do you remember back in the 80s, we used to do the VHS video dating?
Yes.
Do you remember that, Joe? Where you would make a VHS tape and send it to different ladies?
Yes, I do remember
Well,
VHS.
I made a porno movie of myself.
Oh my God.
And it was Google's greatest hits, Joe. And I would send it to all the ladies of Google's greatest porn hits. And let me tell you, Joe, my phone rang off. I had to actually pay a secretary to... I had to pay a secretary, and I had a little black book.
I imagine you're a little black.
I had a little black encyclopedia.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I probably was a lot bigger than a book.
GD Rolodex, Joe. And these were. How do you think I got the bumps on my penis, Joe? Because I used to send Google's porno out, and it would go out to all the women, and that's how I did my videotape back in the 80s.
Oh God. Oh. Google.
Just admit it, Joe.
I don't know how you made it.
I'm awesome.
I'm
awesome.
Awesome. You are.
Just think, if we actually had real viewers on this show, I would get us such ratings. You admit it, Joe.
You would. You'd be the number one star on YouTube.
I would if we actually had more than 5 viewers.
You would.
Yeah, I would. All right, I'm going back to think up some more awesome stories. Bye.
There you go. Oh my God.
Chuck says I like the mustache guy. He's a funny guy.
Mustache guy is yes. Yes, he is.
Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, again, if we had more than 5 viewers, it might catch on.
He is a funny guy, yes. He is.
Love Connection, yeah. Love Connection was great. That was an awesome show. I used to love that show.
Chuck said that was character building stuff. I fear nothing now. I called girls as a kid. And how hard was it to even get a phone number? I mean, it's so awful. Like the closest thing you could do to texting was passing notes. Mm-hmm. And you put down this little note and blah, 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 and write this little note out and give it to a friend and hope the friend passes it to the person you want it to go to. And then
if it went to the wrong person, you're like, oh my God, I'm an idiot
Lord. It was awful. Like it's so easy today. It really is.
And then if you did get the phone number and then you're thinking, what do I do? Where do we go? And then you try and plan the date. And then you're like, all right, do we go? Like, where do we go to eat? Like, one of the biggest things when I was younger, there was a place up in Scranton called Fresno's.
Where do you take them to eat?
And it was like a nicer restaurant that like overlooked the valley. Like, that was a spot we would go.
Yep.
And like, that was the other thing. It's like, where do you go? Like, it's that you don't have much money. You know what I mean? Like, you go. But if you go to a movies, like, if they're into you, yeah, you make out. But like, if you're just getting to know them, like, you can't go to a movies because you can't talk to them at a movies.
Awkward.
Like now, everybody goes to like Starbucks or something because you can only have coffee and talk.
Yep.
But like, what do you do? Now, Nancy, that's a good one. Jim Dandy's. Yeah. That was like
it was just tough. Like it really was hard to do. And like Ed said, to even strike up a conversation sometimes was really, really difficult. The only thing I lucked out with 2 things was where I started. My first job that I had when I was 14 was doing dishes, and I was a busboy in a restaurant, but the restaurant was one of like the classiest places where I lived, and it was one of the most expensive restaurants that there was. My mom worked there and got me a job there, so that was good because I used to see a lot of people after the football games and stuff would come there. So that was one good thing. And then the second thing was my second job that I had. I worked in a record store, and that, oh my God, everybody went there. So a lot of it became a little bit easier when I got older. 17, 18 years old. So
I just thought of another cool one, the pool halls. Like, I don't know if you had them down in Hazleton, but we had like Jack and Jill's and Pockets and all by us.
Yeah, we had the ones we had were combined at that time with video or with arcades. There were there were some pinball machines and some pool tables and arcade.
There was one down in Hanover by me called Pretzels that opened up, and yeah, we used to all like the different grades would hang out there. But that was where I met a couple girls. Like Pretzels was another one. Yeah. But Chuck has it. How about when your friend has to tell you she's not into you, man? And you bite your lip, and you're like, "That's cool, yeah." But then we never even touched that one, the breakup
Oh, yeah.
Guys
Well,
and
we can
dolls.
we
Guys and
can
dolls, Chuck. Oh
we
yeah.
can touch that one when we get to next show.
Yeah, next show we could even hit on breakups. That was
Yeah.
always the rough one too. Oh,
And then
Mm.
another one I was thinking of was amusement parks. If you lived close enough to go to amusement parks, or we had state parks around us too. So you could either go to like a state park, which basically always had like a beach and something that they're disgusting now. But back then they were actually nice places to go if you wanted to go, swimming, whatever. And then of course amusement parks as well that you could just spend the day in an amusement park too. We had enough like local ones around that weren't that far away to drive. So
well, you
two other
had you
places.
had what do you call it? Angela Park,
Angela,
which was right there by you. But like me,
Yes. There was a swimming pool at Angela Park, actually. So a lot of the girls hung out at the swimming pool. And there's us when we were 14. These girls were seniors in high school, and we're up on the Sky Ride. And the Sky Ride strategically, and I'm sure someone probably designed it this way, went right over the swimming pool. So you're going right over all the girls laying on the side of the swimming pool that are tanning right over that thing. And I'm like, okay.
Fexloan, yeah, burger joints. We used to
Burger
after
King,
football
yeah.
games, like when we would have football games, we would all go to the burger places after the games. So that was like a big hangout because
Yep.
then like everybody would just get together and stuff like that. So if there was a girl that liked you or whatnot, that was your opportunity.
Yep.
That they'd walk up to you and say, "Hey, great game," and oh yeah, great game, we won or we got our butts kicked, and then that was
Yeah.
your opportunity to talk. But
Yeah.
a lot of times it was like, if a girl from the same school liked you, unless they were in a different grade or whatever, that was your opportunity to talk to them.
Yes.
If it was from a different school, you really didn't, because that was the opposite team. So you'd get in a fist fight with the other school. And then usually it was like a knife fight, like the Jets. No, I'm just kidding. Like the Jets and the Sharks, man. No.
Like the Beat It video when they would,
yeah, like
when they
Beat
would,
It,
when they would dance and yeah.
But no, like, yeah, like for us, like different, bonfires. Yes, bonfires was
Another
a
good
good, you know what? You got a lot of poon at bonfires. A lot of opportunity for pudding at bonfires.
There was there was a lot of things back when we were younger were like woods parties. Everybody just hung out in the woods. It wasn't so public, and people would just go and they'd find these places. Like a lot of times the high schools were positioned where they're built in such a way, and then there's woods kind of behind it. People would go and go. Yeah, but yeah, bonfires were a good one. That's a good one. If you were lucky, your parents worked at night and were cool, so you just went back to your house. And my mom did, and it was really only my mom. My parents are separated, so my mom worked in the restaurant every night, and most of the time she was there till 1 a.m. So yeah, yep. Had that
Well,
scenario in
if it
2001
was
with
Big
David
Dan, it was
Dobrik.
probably like his camp counselor, or it was like his youth pastor, or it was like his like somebody like his like a waitress, or it was probably like his gym teacher.
Oh my god!
Because that's how Big Dan's life is.
Big Dan's got some stories, man.
Mhm.
What a history that he had.
Well, this one time I dated Romilda. Romilda was like the operator at the telephone company. I called her one time to find out the phone number for the local Domino's. We struck up a conversation. Next thing you know, we were going to dinner at Jim Dan's. That would be a Big Dan story.
Oh my god, so good. Funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, it is 10:04, and I think we're going to end it here with the Captain's Choice lyric of the week. So, if you are new to our channel, I know there's a couple new faces out there. If you're new, basically what I do is I'm going to read the words to the lyrics to a song. You guys can guess what that song is. This one's going to be pretty easy, but it fits the theme. And many times it does. So just read it out. Of course, we have no prizes because we make no money on this, and we don't have any money to buy any prizes. So it's basically just you're doing it just to get congratulations, I guess. So, all right.
Yeah.
So here we go. I made a fire and watching it burn. I thought of your future. With one foot in the past, now just how long will it last? Now, have you no ambitions? There you go. What's the song? It is, of course, a band from the 80s, and it's a pretty famous song, and it does fit tonight's theme a little bit as well. So I could read it one more time if nobody gets it. And of course, I know what we're going to get. Yep, Nancy said it right there. It's time for the whiz.
I just can't. Dan, something about a girl with walker, cat in a stroller. I lost you on that one.
It was a girl I worked with, and dude, did I dodge a bullet? She used to walk her cat in a stroller. Oh my. Oh my.
That'll be for next week.
One more time, I'll read the lyric and see
Yeah.
if you can get it. I made a fire and watching it burn, thought of your future. With one foot in the past now, just how long will it last? Now, have you no ambitions?
A little bit more.
If I read the rest of it, my mother and my brothers used to breathing clean air and dreaming I'm a doctor. It's hard to be a man when there's a gun in your hand. Oh, I feel so. Isn't it weird to read lyrics and it just doesn't? You
Tears
have
for
to
Fears.
have it.
I got
Yes,
Tears for Fears with that.
it's Tears
but-
for Fears.
But what
Yes.
is it? I feel so.
Something happens and I'm head over heels.
Oh, okay.
It's Tears for Fears and Head Over Heels. So
Okay.
Head Over Heels in
I
love.
don't think any of us got that one.
It
but
fit the theme. No one got it. No one
No.
got it. I thought that'd be an easy one too.
it
I was
wasn't.
gonna do "Addicted to Love" by Robert Palmer. Would have been the other one, but I couldn't really find a hard enough lyric to do where it would have stumped anyone.
Oh,
well, there
Fetch
you go.
got it. Head over heels. It was just a minute late.
There you go. That's all right. That's all good. That's all good.
Well, you won tonight.
Fex Lone wins.
Fex, if we're screwing your name up, sorry. You want to
Fex
give us
Lone.
another?
Yes.
You want to
Before
throw us your Twitter handle out? And
Yeah,
your,
before we
and your
head out,
websites?
yep. Go ahead and promote yourself, dude. Before we head out for the night. Hey, listen. Thank you all for coming out. Really, really appreciate that. Sorry about the wait. But,
Yeah,
hey,
our
life-
schedules are screwy,
Yeah,
so
they
we'll
are.
try and do our best to
Yeah,
post
life
whatever we
happens.
can.
We'll try to get as much out as we can. Waffle House down here after the football game, says Gwynny. So yes, put your information out there, and we're gonna get out of here for the night. And of course, the next show, we promised it for well over a bunch of months now. It will be the infamous story of the prom, and of course, we'll do breakups as well along with that. So
And if Joe disappoints you, I promise you guys get to stone him to death.
I
How's
was-
that sound?
it's
That'll
more
be
s-
live on the following episode.
I'm telling you, it's just-
people come in and we'll get to stone them live.
There's funny in it. There's sad in it. There's kind of a little some pathetic in it. But it's listen, you got to remember, it's about a 16-year-old kid who, didn't date a lot and stuff like that. So just remember, you're looking at maybe like a version of Charlie Brown and the redheaded girl. So
You better not disappoint me, Joe.
oh,
I've held up
Google,
my end of the deal, Joe.
you did, yes.
You better not disappoint.
No,
I signed
no.
a contract. You better not disappoint, Joe.
No, I won't. And I'll put that soundtrack together. I'll get as many songs out there as I can remember that I used to listen to listen, I'll just tell you that afterward, after the whole prom was over, my mom would come up to my room and say, "Stop playing that depressing music," and she'd yell at me about it. So that's where a lot of it's gonna be. I'm just warning you.
Yes.
But a lot of these songs, so I'll get the list out there, and you can listen to
Yes.
that. Good times next Wednesday. Then Prom
That's
Story
Star
Day.
Wars Day 2, boys. The Force is with us. Yes.
Oh, it is. Yes, it's May the 4th. All right. Well, there you go. Are you available next week?
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Oh,
there you
yeah,
go.
we're good.
So then it definitely is next week.
It will
So there you go.
definitely be next Wednesday.
There you go. We
Rip
will
shit or
be-
bust.
We will do it.
We will hear Joe.
We will be doing the story next Wednesday for sure.
I cannot wait. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Oh, my God.
I'm going to be in tears reliving everything again.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. I'm going to be on bated breath.
Oh my God, it was so bad. All right. Well, there you go. It's on
Yes.
Star Wars Day 2. The Force is with us. Air Supply coming soon. No Air Supply, but there's some really, really sad. So I'm just trying to say, what's a
If YouTube weren't such communists, we could play the music in the. Or
I
maybe
know.
I'll just play it on my phone in the background.
Um,
Because we could do that. Because YouTube are a bunch of dirty commies.
I'll give you a preview. Never Say Goodbye from Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a preview. But yeah, I'll compose the list and I'll get it out.
I will have this list, and I will be playing it in the background, and it'll be beautiful, and it'll be great, and I'm so excited.
God.
And like, well, if I can't do it, but like I don't have like I can't do stuff like we can have this in the background like this.
It's like we're in church.
We could do this, or we could do like this.
Oh my God.
We could have like
Dear Lord.
sad music like that, like.
Oh Lord.
And then Joe could be like, and then I asked her if she would dance, and she said, "I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom." And then she
No.
never came back. And then like, it'll be beautiful. Like, it'll be awesome.
First dance was The Lady in Red by Krista Berg, and she wore a red dress. So
No spoilers. No Captain Spoiler.
That's it.
No,
That's all I'm doing.
no
That's all
Captain
you're-
Spoiler.
That's all you're getting. You
All
got 2
right.
songs.
Just end it.
All right, we're out of here, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. And have a great rest of your week. And hopefully we see you all next week. Get your suits, get your ties, get those prom dresses back out because we're heading the Wayback Machine to the prom. We'll see you all then. Have a great week.
Thanks,
We'll talk
guys.
to you soon. Good
You
night,
rock.
everybody.